What if the most dangerous weapon in human history wasn't a sword or a bomb, but a simple rock? But not just any rock. This was a rock that would forever change the destiny of our species. Imagine a world 3.3 million years ago. The landscape is raw, untamed. Early hominins, our distant ancestors, are not at the top of the food chain. They are prey. Giant cats with saber-like teeth, massive bears, and fearsome hyenas rule this world. Our ancestors are small, slow, and defenseless. Their days are a constant struggle for survival, scavenging for scraps left behind by more powerful predators. They climb trees to escape, hide in caves, and live in constant fear. The world is a brutal buffet, and they are on the menu. Every day is a gamble. Finding food means risking everything. A lone hominin spots a carcass, maybe an antelope taken down by a big cat. He waits, patiently, until the predator has had its fill and moved on. Cautiously, he approaches, but there's a problem. The thick hide of the animal is impossible to tear with bare hands and weak nails. Inside there is life-saving meat and marrow, rich in calories and fat, but is locked away. He can gnaw at the edges. But the real prize, the brain and the bone marrow, remains just out of reach. Frustration and hunger are his constant companions. This was the ceiling, the biological limit that kept our ancestors on the brink of extinction. Then, one day, something extraordinary happens. It's not a moment of dramatic invention, no flash of genius in a cave. It's simpler, more primal. An ancestor, perhaps out of frustration, picks up one rock and smashes it against another. A flake breaks off. It's sharp, sharper than anything nature has provided them, sharper than teeth, sharper than claws. It fits perfectly in the hand. This wasn't an accident, it was a discovery. This simple, sharp-edged stone is what we now call an old wind chopper. It doesn't look like much. If you saw one on the ground today, you'd probably walk right past it. It's crude, basic, a lump of rock with a few flakes knocked off one side. But in the hands of our ancestors, it was a revolution. It was the key that unlocked a new world of possibilities. Suddenly, the world changed. With this tool, our ancestor could do what his body couldn't. He could slice through tough animal hides. He could scrape meat from bone with an efficiency never before imagined. He could crack open those bones to get to the nutrient-dense marrow inside. And even more critically, he could access the skull to get to the brain, a powerhouse of fats and proteins. This wasn't just about getting a better meal. This was about fueling the brain. The human brain is an incredibly energy-hungry organ. It consumes about 20% of our body's energy, despite being only 2% of our body weight. To grow a bigger, more complex brain, our ancestors needed a high-calorie, high-fat diet. Plant matter alone wasn't going to cut it. Access to meat and marrow was the ticket. The old down chopper was the first step in an evolutionary feedback loop. Better tools led to better food. Better food led to bigger brains. Bigger brains led to better thinking, better problem solving, and the ability to make even more sophisticated tools. It was a cycle of innovation that kick-started our entire technological journey. From this one simple idea shaping a stone to make a sharp edge, everything else would eventually follow. Think about the implications. For the first time, our ancestors weren't just reacting to their environment. They were starting to shape it. They could process food, but they could also shape wood. They could sharpen a stick into a rudimentary spear for defense or for digging. They could strip bark from trees. The world of materials was suddenly open to them. This single tool represents the dawn of technology. It's the moment we stopped being just another animal and started on the path to becoming human. The archaeological sites where these tools were found, like Lamak Vai in Kenya, are incredible. They are littered with these stone flakes and cores, a testament to this ancient industry. You can almost picture it, a group of early hominins gathered together, striking rocks, teaching each other, passing this vital knowledge down through generations. This wasn't just tool making. It was the beginning of culture, of shared learning. The real twist, the most shocking part of this story, isn't just that a rock changed our diet. It's that this tool fundamentally rewired our brains. The act of making an old Darwin chopper is more complex than it looks. It requires foresights who have to imagine the tool before you make it. It requires planning, choosing the right kind of rock, knowing where and how to strike it. It requires fine motor control and hand-eye coordination. Scientists have actually studied modern humans making these same tools, while their brains are being scanned. The results are astonishing. The process of napping stone activates the same regions of the brain that are responsible for language. Specifically, Broca's area, a key language center in the frontal lobe, lights up. This suggests an incredible possibility. The very act of making tools, the structured, sequential process of it, may have laid the neural groundwork for language. The step-by-step grammar of tool making could be the precursor to the syntax of speech. Before we could speak in sentences, we were thinking in them, creating an object, step by step. Our ability to talk, to share complex ideas, to plan, to cooperate, might all be traced back to the moment we first hit one rock with another. This wasn't just a tool for butchery. It was a tool that built our minds. From this point on, the pace of change accelerates. The simple Oldowan chopper evolves. 1,000,000 years later, we see the Acheulean hand axe, a more symmetrical, teardrop-shaped tool. A clear sign of improved cognitive ability and aesthetic sense. Then come more specialized flake tools, then spear points, then needles, and on and on. Each new invention builds on the last, an unbroken chain of innovation stretching 3.3 million years. Every piece of technology you see around you today, your phone, the buildings in your city, the rockets we send to space it, all has its ancestor in that first crudely sharpened stone. It was the original gadget, the first killer app. It allowed us to transcend our physical limitations and begin our conquest of the planet. We often think of humanity's great turning points as the discovery of fire or the invention of the wheel. But this came first. This was the spark. Without the chopper, our brains might never have developed to the point where we could even conceptualize controlling fire. This simple tool didn't just help our ancestors survive, it made us who we are. It was the first word in the long, epic story of humanity. And the scary part is, this was just the beginning of our power to reshape the world.